Hello, welcome to another weekly update. I hope you're doing well. I'm back after a week off. And before that, we didn't really have anything to talk about apart from the kind of the tech news and the Microsoft layoffs and the new fiscal year and all that sort of stuff. So we're back. It's still fairly light on the ground for news. There's a few things to talk about, but given that I've been away for 2 weeks without an update of any great kind of sort of news items, I feel like it is still pretty light. So let's get into it anyway, because there are things to talk about. So the first one is a blog post, and I would file this under things that you probably thought were already happening. This is a blog post from the Microsoft 365 developer blog entitled Bring Your Own Agents into Microsoft 365 Copilot. So this blog post is about the ability for you to write agents and have them show up in Microsoft 365 Copilot. And if you thought this already existed, there is a nuance to this. The blog post is only talking about custom engine agents. Now, you wouldn't have got that from the title. This is one of the challenges I think that we have right now with the developer landscape. There are multiple ways to do things, and they're all called very similar things. And depending on, even those nuances are often left out of the conversation, so it can be quite confusing. So this is the blog post. Custom engine agents are now generally available. Build and integrate your own AI into the flow of work. Okay, so what does this mean? Custom engine agents are a way of building Microsoft Copilot agents. It's the closest thing to the old bot framework, if you know what that is. It is now called the Microsoft 365 Agents Toolkit. An SDK. Sorry, the Microsoft 365 Agents SDK, not the Agents Toolkit. That's something else. So that means that you can build agents, and these are the freest form of agents. So you get to choose all parts of this. You can build it in Azure AI Foundry. You can bring your own models. You can write all of your own code if you want, really. You have the greatest amount of flexibility compared to some of the other solutions. You also have to do the largest amount of work. So it's not always right for all situations, but it is a way to build agents. And this is kind of part of the problem, as I alluded to. It's one of the ways to build agents for Microsoft 365 Copilot right now. So good news, but that it's generally available and now showing up in Microsoft 365 Copilot in the agents list. There's an example here from one of the partners that have done something. But yeah, this means that you can do this today. It's accessible via the Agents Toolkit, the newly renamed Teams Toolkit, now called the Microsoft 365 Agents Toolkit. You can access it from there. You can create a custom engine agent that way. And there's a bunch of videos as well for what you can do next. So, like I say, if you'd have asked me, I probably would have guessed that this was here already if I hadn't looked into it too closely. But it's good news that it is now generally available. I feel like it's been in preview for a while, possibly. But anyway, it's now GA. If you are waiting to launch your agent that you've built because you've been waiting for the support, then the support is now here. So you can go and do that. That's exciting. All right, let's move on to something else. Exchange Web Services, that thing that is going to go away soon. Well, October 2026, kind of soon, just over a year away. Support for EWS ends next year, and Microsoft have been providing a number of different things to help with this. We've talked about them here. There've been a few iterations, like the IntelliSense has got smarter to kind of pull out areas where you're using what will be deprecated API, what are deprecated APIs, what will become non-working API calls in your code. And now there's a tutorial to walk you through the process of doing the migration. So if you are responsible for this code base, but maybe you didn't write it, you've inherited it, and now you're not quite sure what to do with it because you never really understood EWS anyway, and you've got to move it over to something else, or Microsoft Graph, and you're not quite sure how to do that, this could be the perfect tutorial for you. Spoiler, there's plenty of AI being used here as well. So there's a blog post from the Microsoft 365 developer blog about this. Talking about why you'd want to use this tutorial, and then it's got a link to the tutorial as well. yeah, it's a migration analyzer. And it also uses, I think it uses a healthy amount of Copilot as well to help you understand how to move these things over. This could be good. I think it comes with the sort of usual warnings that you should probably understand what you're doing as you're doing it. But if you need somewhere to start and you're just not quite sure what to do, then I think this could be a useful tool, and maybe it's worth exploring and trying out, because it might make some of that migration work a little bit easier. Yeah, or at least give you a feel for how much work is involved, even if you don't use Copilot to actually do that work. And I'm not banging on Copilot. I use it all the time to get work done. I think it's really, really powerful. I am, however, in the category, in the camp of, I believe that you should understand the stuff that Copilot is doing and not blindly do it even though you don't understand it. I think if you do that, you open yourself up to the risk of painting yourself into a corner and not knowing how to get back out again. So that's all that stuff. So that's good. So if you're, if you've got EWS migrations, then go check that out for sure. Finally, let's talk about Microsoft 365 Copilot Search, which is rolling out. I mean, we've been talking about this for quite a long time. The ability to do a kind of semantic type search across Microsoft 365. It's definitely been on the radar for quite a long time. And I think it's finally coming. Rather than go to the direct sources, I've actually pulled a blog post by David Berry, who works at Directions on Microsoft, which is the same place that Mary Jo Foley works now. Because I thought it was a good blog post, kind of rounding out some of the things that are coming and how it works and how we think about it. So this is this blog post. I'll put a link to it in the notes, of course. And we kind of talk about what it is, and then how we think it's going to work, or how he thinks it's going to work. But then also, I think what his take on that, like whether these things are useful or not useful, what could be missing, and then kind of whether it's powerful enough as well, which is kind of interesting. And when it ships, people are going to want to do things with it, and is it going to be capable for those things? I think this is a tricky place for Microsoft right now. Copilot kind of lives and dies by being able to find the right information at the right time. So search is a critically important part of that. So the other part of this that I will be keeping a really kind of close eye on is what the API support for this is, because it's great that good semantic search comes to the user experience, but it's also equally important that it comes to the APIs as well, so that you can do these things in third-party applications and surface your enterprise data in places where it's needed outside of the kind of Microsoft 365 app ecosystem. So that's important also. So I'll be keeping an eye on what that looks like. All right. Like I say, a couple of things, interesting things to talk about this week as we ease back into kind of the summer break. I feel like the summer break will probably extend for another month or so. So I would expect it to be quiet for a little while yet. But maybe September's kind of the kicking off point for a whole new raft of things. And in that time, I think we'll see kind of where Microsoft kind of resets itself. I think it's in the middle of that that reorg process over the summer. And so we'll see how Microsoft in September looks, and what its direction is, and what its plans are for the fiscal year. All right, enough from me. I hope you have a great week, whatever it is you're doing, and I will speak to you again next time.